Good afternoon, my lovely nurses. I hope you are fine and your family is good. So today we will discuss some questions with rational and explanations. And our first question is, a 43-year-old African American male is admitted with sickle cell anemia. The nurse plans to assess circulation in the lower extremities every 2 hours. Which of the following outcome criteria would the nurse use? So patient have sickle cell anemia, and they ask in the question which criteria the nurse will use to assess the circulation of lower extremities every 2 hours. They give 4 options. Number A, body temperature of 99 Fahrenheit or less. Number B, toes moved in active range of motion. Number C, sensation reported when soles of feet are touched. Number D, capillary refill of less than 3 seconds. So if we will talk about the option A, the body temperature of 99. So keep in your mind the body temperature and the motion and the sensation would not give information regarding peripheral circulations. So number A is regarding body temperature. Number 2 is the toes move in active range of motion. They will not give the proper criteria for the circulation of the extremities. Number C, sensation reported when soles of feet are touched. This will not give the information regarding the peripheral circulation. So our correct option is D, capillary refill less than 3 seconds, because it is important to assess the extremities for blood vessel occlusion in the client with sickle cell anemia, because a change in capillary refill would indicate a change in the circulation. So if the capillary refill is less than 3 seconds, this is the best criteria to check the circulation of the lower extremities. I hope you understand. Now we will go to the next question. So our second question is also related to sickle cell crisis. Our question number 2 is, a 30-year-old male for Haiti is brought to the emergency department in sickle cell crisis. What is the best position for this client? So in this question, they ask the best position for the patient who has sickle cell crisis. So number A, side lying with knees flexed. Number B, knee chest. Number C, high fallers with knees flexed. Number D, semi fallers with legs extended on the bed. So if we will talk about the position for the patient who has sickle cell crisis, so we will think patient have sickle cell crisis. So which position is good for the patient? So number A, side lying with knees flexed. Always keep in your mind any position that flexed mean that any flexion of the joints, that position is not good for the sickle cell crisis. So number A is side lying with knees flexed. This position is not good for the patient because flexion of the hips and knees, which includes the knee chest position, impairs circulation. They can make problem for the patient who has sickle cell crisis and is not correct positioning for the client. So if we will talk about number A, a side lying with knees flexed is not correct. Number B, knee chest is not correct because this is also flexion. Number C, high fallers with knee flex is not good position. The number D, semi fallers with leg extended on the bed, that is our right answer, because the placing the client in semi fallers position provides the best oxygenation for this patient. So number D is our correct answer. Now we will go to the next question. Our question number 3 is also related to sickle cell crisis. So our question is, a 25-year-old male is admitted in sickle cell crisis. Which of the following intervention would be of highest priority for this client? So number A option is taking hourly blood pressure with mechanical cuff. Number B, encouraging fluid intake of at least 200 ml per hour. Number C, positioning in the high fallers with knee gash raised. Number D, administering Tylenol as ordered. So patient have sickle cell crisis. So which is the highest priority? Our strategic word is the highest priority. So highest priority, we will see the which option is the best related to this question. If we will talk about the option A, taking hourly blood pressure with mechanical cuff, so this is incorrect because a mechanical cuff places too much pressure on the arm, so that is not good for the sickle cell crisis patient. Number B, encouraging fluid intake of at least 200 ml per hour. This is our correct option because it is important to keep the client in sickle cell crisis hydrated to prevent further sickling of the blood. So hydration is most important for the patient who have sickle cell crisis. The number C, positioning in high followers with knee gauge raise. As I told you, any position that is flex the joints is not good position for the sickle cell crisis patient. So this is incorrect. Number D, administering Tylenol as ordered. So Tylenol is too mild analgesia for the client in crisis. So this is also incorrect. So our highest priority is the keep hydrated for the patient who has sickle cell crisis. So our correct answer is B. Our next question is also sickle cell related. So which of the following food would be the nurse encourage the client in sickle cell crisis to eat? So there are 4 options. Number A, steak, cottage cheese, popsicle, lima beans. So in the previous question, if you will keep in your mind, the best option I give the highest priority is keep to patient hydrated. So if we will see in these options A, B, C, D, so which is the best option that is related to this question? I'm sorry. So number A is steak, number B cottage cheese, number D lima beans. Only C is the option is the popsicle, because hydration is important in the client with sickle cell disease to prevent thrombus formation. So hydration is very important for the patient. So popsicle, any gelatin, juice and pudding have high fluid content. If these options are there in the question, we have to choose the which one? Popsicle, either gelatin, juice or pudding, they all have high content of fluid. The other options, the A, B and D, they not aid in hydration, and so due to this reason they are wrong option. So our best option is popsicle. Next question, number 5, is also related to sickle cell crisis. A newly admitted client has sickle cell crisis. He is complaining of pain in his feet and hands. The nurse assessment findings include a pulse oximetry of 92. Assuming that all the following interventions are ordered, which should be done first? So our what is strategic word is first. What is the option has prioritization? Which option we have to select first? So number A, adjust the room temperature. Number B, give bolus of IV fluids. Number C, start oxygen. Number D, administer meperidine demerol 75 mg IV push. So if we will see in the question, is already mentioned the patient saturation is 92. So the pulse oximetry already indicates that oxygen level is low. So our option number A is adjust the room temperature. So answer, if we will talk about answer A, is incorrect, because the warm environment actually reduce the pain and minimize sickling. But this time this is not the priority. So this is incorrect. Number 2, give a bolus of IV fluids. As I told you, the hydration is very important for the sickle cell crisis patient. But this time this is not the priority. So this is incorrect. Number C, start oxygen. This is our correct option, because the pulse oximetry already showing patient is desaturated. The saturation is 92. So we have to start the oxygen. This is our correct option. Number D, administer meperidine demerol 75 mg IV push. So keep in your mind the demerol increase the acid in the blood. So this is not good for the sickle cell crisis, because it will increase the sickling. So our D option is also incorrect. So our correct option is oxygen, start oxygen. And always think about A, B, C, D, the airway, breathing, circulation. So as if we will think about the ABC, our correct option is C, start oxygen. Our next question is also related to sickle cell anemia. So clients with sickle cell anemia are taught to avoid activities that cause hypoxia and hypoxemia. So which of the following activities would the nurse recommended? So which activity is good for the patient? Which is the priority question we have to select the options. So our options are number A, a family vacation in a Rocky Mountains. Number B, chaperoning the local boys club on a snow skiing trip. Number C, traveling by airplane for business trips. Number D, a bus trip to the Museum of Natural History. So if we will taking a trip, so taking a trip or going to the trip to any to which activities we have to avoid so patient have don't have hypoxemia and hypoxia. So which activities we have to inform the patient to avoid from the hypoxia and hypoxemia. So if we will talk about number A, so a family vacation in the Rocky Mountains is really high altitude. So this is not good for the patient because patient can be have hypoxia and hypoxemia. So this is incorrect. Chaperone the local boy clubs on a snow skiing trip. This is also not good for the patient because it also can cause the hypoxia and hypoxemia. So this is incorrect. Traveling by airplane for business trips. So traveling by airplane, this is also not good because this one can cause the sickling episode. So this is also not good. And number one, the most important, to the snow skiing trip, the cold environment is not good for the sickle cell crisis patient. Always keep warm to the patient, that is comfortable for the patient. So C, as I told you, traveling by airplane, it can increase the sickling episode. So this is also not good. Number D, a bus trip to the Museum of Natural History. This is the only answer that does not pose a threat. So number D is our correct answer. I hope you like the questions and the explanation. If you like, please share, subscribe my channel, and don't forget to push the bell button so you can receive my coming videos notification. Thank you very much. Take care of yourself and your family. Allah Hafiz.